Greetings, fledglings. Welcome back to my chambers of art and wisdom. I hope you are looking forward to the clan festivities of the long winter nights, and of course to the retelling of our beloved saga. A little occasion to sing, dance, and drink now and then really lightens the mood of our lords. However, I have to apologize for my absence during the last couple of nights. My clan does not reside in the sanctuary, therefore was my journey back home a bit longer than expected. Now, enough with the chit-chat. Let's start with your lesson. Tell me, have you ever thought about the endless possibilities of your existence? About fate? About a coin landing on its edge? When I was a young vampire, I've often felt overwhelmed by the many different ways of the night, as we've called it. You may know it by another name. Lore, altered timelines, alternative universes within the already existing core of our beliefs. Those things are hard to understand for an adult vampire, and even more for a youngling. It is said that even the Ancient Ones struggled to grasp the higher knowledge of our dimension and its numerous facets. This is why we hold the saga of Kain and our lords in high regard. They, and the wisdom of the Ancient Ones, are the foundation of our world. At least, that is what our scholars and philosophers say. Of course, the humans have a different viewpoint on that, but this is nothing we must concern ourselves with. But you must understand that the tale of the king, as present as it is now, was only a vague shimmer on the night sky when I was young. I asked my master about all those complicated things, and when his knowledge and his library couldn't satisfy my curiosity anymore, he sent me to the Pillar Guardians of Dimension and Time. Nah, don't give me that shocked look. Those were different times back then. It wasn't uncommon for us vampires to be friends with the Guardians. Your own king is a Guardian. Show some respect. Ah, yes, the Guardians. I've talked long with them, and I will do my best to share their wisdom with you. First, I've met the Guardian of Time. Don't get the wrong idea, fledglings. Every time streamer is a sly bastard by nature, but he was our bastard, and I liked his audacious personality. He taught me many things about his element. Time itself is neither a straight line, as you might believe, nor is it a circle or a snake biting its own tail. The Ouroboros is a common symbol for eternity, though. Time is a stream, a never-ending ocean of possibilities even a time streamer can drown in if he isn't careful. Every decision we make, by fate or free will, creates waves in this ocean, which create more waves themselves, and more, and so on. Let's keep it simple, my time-bending friend said. Imagine it like steering a boat on a river. Once in a while, you will come across river arms branching off the main stream. If you decide to follow one of those, maybe they will lead you to other smaller creeks or even a whole new delta. But once you've made your decision, it's almost impossible to turn back. The main stream adjusts itself to it and closes off all other side streams behind you. This is what we call the death of optional timelines. It is still possible to change history, though, but that's nothing I could explain so easily. Have I already lost you, dear fledglings? Don't worry, I had my own troubles to understand it when I heard it for the first time. Let me give you an example you are more familiar with. When Kain was still a fledgling like you, he traveled into the past of Northgirth to fight against William the Just. You know the story. And you know that William's death had disastrous consequences for our species. But have you ever considered the other outcomes of this encounter? These are your options. First, Kain kills William, as we know it. Second, Kain fights against William, but can't kill him and is forced to retreat. If you ever tell the king I said that, I will throw you off the Rasilium's tower. Third, Kain convinces William that Mobius is the true enemy and they turn against him together. Fourth, William kills Kain. And last but not least, they both die. Never thought about that, haven't you? Well, there is a reason why we left it to the time streamers to watch over our timeline after all. Only they can see most of the future outcomes of every possible event on the way down the river. And if it's necessary, they alter it here and there to prevent fatal harm to our future. At least, they used to. Nowadays, it is up to our storytellers to think about all those possibilities. It's their task and fate to play with them in their mind and create new stories for the great saga. I don't know where some of those stories are leading, or if they even possible outcomes, but that's not the point. The point is that we shall never stop asking ourselves one little question. What if? Now that you've mastered the alternation of time, in theory, let's go on with an even more complex topic: dimensions and alternative universes. Bear with me, fledglings. I promise you, it's not dark art and Turelium engineering. Listen closely and you will understand. Have you ever planted a tree? The guardian of dimensions asked me after I shyly mumbled my questions. I must have looked quite irritated, because she chuckled and explained, universes are like trees. If the seed of fortuity, chance, and fate falls on the fertile ground of the never-ending night, a new universe will sprout. It will grow and bloom, bear fruit perhaps, and die when its time has come. How do other universes look like? I asked. Some of them look like ours, she said. Those are the ones sharing a part of the same seed our universe originated from. Sometimes the difference between such alternate universes are subtle. Let's say the wings of the ancient ones have another color, white instead of black. Or maybe they look more like common bird wings, grey or brown with spotted patterns. I see, I amuse you, fledglings. To say the truth, I thought she was joking. She was not, and my laughter died quickly when she continued. Dimensions, on the other hand, are more like the wind blowing through the leaves of the tree. You can see the branches slightly shaking in the breeze and feel the gentle blow on your skin, but you can't touch it, hold it, bind it. It knows no master and no king, and could disroot the tree with ease during a storm. How? I asked. Dimensions are strange places. Most of them defy almost all laws of physics we know. Others are inhabited with things even I can't comprehend. Dark, twisted, truly unpleasant things. Things that would destroy us if they could reach us. Therefore, it is my duty to uphold the barriers between their dimensions and ours, as good as I can. Suddenly it's so silent in my classroom. Well, eventually you've heard enough from sly bastards and wise sorceresses for now. Let's see if you can apply your new knowledge to something familiar. As you already know, is the great saga the foundation of our existence and center of our society. But where exactly are we on the timeline? And how is it even possible that Nosgoth once again rose from the ashes of the past anyway? I will show you. Let's start by naming the chapters of our saga first. It all started with the Book of the Blood Omen, in which Kain refused to sacrifice himself to the pillars. In its second half, our young king had to overcome the sinister schemes of Lord Hilden and paved the way for our glorious vampiric empire. Now comes the time of the Dark Renaissance, or at least it would, if our scholars could finally decide on which chain of events had the most relevance to over 1,000 mostly peaceful years. It started with the resurrection of our lords, that's for sure, but then the literary structure becomes a bit unclear. Of course, Kain and his lieutenants conquered all of Nosgoth, and when their clans rose to power, they brought a time of wisdom and beauty upon us. But all good things must come to an end. The end came in form of the tragic tale of the Soul Reaver. There is no vampire in this land who wouldn't shed a tear for Lord Raziel, the most loyal of them all, the broken prince, the lost soul, our vengeful spirit. The main part of his story about trust and betrayal is told in 2 chapters and finally climaxes in the Book of Defiance, once again intertwined with the fate of the king. All good and well, but our question is still unanswered. Where are we? The bedrock of our existence as we know it lies here, within the Book of Resurrection, or the Dark Prophecy, as some call it. In this final volume, Kain emerges from the underworld victoriously, rearranges the time stream once again, and brings back the souls of the fallen into the world of the living. Of course, he started with one specific soul, drawn from his holy blade. How else could it be? And this is now the time where your story takes place. But let me mention one last thing before we finish our lesson for today. According to our scholars, the Book of Resurrection might not exist in every dimension we have discovered so far. There might be some dark places, far away from us, where this book was never written, or maybe it's not written yet. So be thankful for your existence, fledglings, and enjoy it wherever you may go. Good night.